Okay, this is our second part of our Earth Day video series where we share with you some of the things that we do to try to be sustainable and clean and low waste. So we wanted to talk to you about composting, since I mentioned in the last video, but I'll mention again in case you haven't seen it. When you throw things in a landfill, even things that normally would biodegrade like food scraps, paper, things like that, when they get to the landfill, they're covered up with dirt, and so they don't biodegrade in the same way they would naturally if they were just laying around somewhere. So really, things that you think are safe to throw away are still not biodegrading because they're covered up and they don't have access to air, bacteria, microbes, and all that stuff that causes decomposition. So we try to throw everything that we can into our compost bin. So we're going to talk a little bit about how that works and what kind of things we put in there and what kind of things we don't put in there. So first of all, I wanted to show you, this is our bin that normally sits on our countertop. This is Emery, by the way. Can you say hi?
Hi.
He had a blue sucker a little while ago, so. This is our compost bin that normally just sits right on our counter or underneath of our sink. And we just throw all of our scraps or anything compostable right in there, close it up. It's not stinky, it's not gross. We wash it out every time after we dump it, and this one works pretty well for us. We like that it has a handle. There is another compost bin that we have in the store that's really a lot cuter. I think it's a stainless steel kind of farmhouse style, and it has a filter at the top and everything. So if you're looking for a good compost bin, we have one at the store that is really affordable and really cute. So, but we have Quinn over here has some of our compost that we kind of dumped out into a bowl here, so you can get kind of an idea of the things that we throw in the compost. So Quinn, can you tell us what some things are that are in there?
So we usually put a lot of times banana peels, because we eat a lot of bananas, so there's usually a lot of banana peels in there. And then we a lot of times put eggshells in there because we also eat a lot of things with eggs in them. We occasionally put onions in there if we are doing anything with them. As you can see, there's some bread in here. I've never really noticed bread. We don't put it in that much because we don't really use it as much as all this other stuff. There's also some potatoes in here. And basically...
What's this right here?
Oh yeah, you can also throw coffee filters in here and coffee, like ground up coffee beans.
Okay.
Some of the things you might not want to throw in, it says somewhere over here, like, no meats, no fats, no bones. Turn it a little. It says right there. So that's some of the things you shouldn't put in your compost, because it's not, it won't really turn into dirt or anything.
It will rot and get nasty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what we usually do, once a day, we have a full compost bin, and the boys will bring it out. And Emery, can you show us inside the compost bin?
A lot of stuff in
There's
there.
our compost. So as you can see, we also throw compostable plates in there. There's some watermelon in there. So basically any fruits, vegetables, nuts we'll throw in there, paper products, especially if you wet them down, breads, anything that's not, like Quinn said, animal products basically. And we are pretty heavy on plant-based, so we throw a lot of stuff in there. And ours is probably maybe a third of the way full right now. It's a pretty big bin, but that's just because it hasn't really gotten hot yet. And once it gets a little hotter, this will really compost down pretty quickly, because it does get pretty hot here in South Carolina. Okay, so Quinn, go ahead and dump that in. So we just come out once a day, dump it in, and put the lid back on. And that's that, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, there, as you probably could see, there are a lot of bugs in there, but they never actually bother you. They're not like, they never really bite you or anything. I've never gotten bug bites from them, really.
Just gnats, right?
Yeah.
Emery, anything you want to add?
No.
No? Okay. So then, Emery, can you show us the little door that slides up?
What?
So after a while, your food scraps will start. Oh, we got ants living in there. See that nice colony of carpenter ants? They're mad. Anyway, so you see this dirt here towards the bottom? That's what your compost is going to eventually turn into. And then you can open this little door and you can get the dirt and you can use it for planting and, you know, flowers, put it in your flower beds. It's just super, super nutrient rich soil by the end. I'm hoping these carpenter ants are going to die off as it gets pretty hot here. It'll get too hot for them in here, but you know, they're not really bothering us. They're actually helping aerate our compost, so they're pretty good for our compost. We just stay away from them. We don't open this very often. And as you can see, like, eggshells are one of the things that take the longest to compost down, so you see those eggshells still there in the dirt. All right. If you have any questions about starting a compost bin or questions about composting, we'll be happy to answer those. Thanks, guys. Happy Earth Day.